A golem? So Dearhanna's legend is true?
It is no more than an obedient machine created to follow orders and kill. Not unlike our Witcher.
So I guess we should get along famously.
You? What do you know about golems?
I don't run into them in every forest, but any good bestiary describes golems at length, and I've read more than my share of those.
Geralt, I'm not questioning your knowledge, but I should be the one to...
Actually, you are questioning my knowledge. Listen, I know what I'm doing. I'll try to get it to reveal the word that'll deactivate it, or I'll just mess with its head. Break the code.
So now we've got a burglar in our midst. Be my guest. Try.
My intentions are good.
As are mine. Know, however, that this may change.
Dearhanna must have been pretty lonely if he gave you eloquence.
The Master made me a guardian. Nothing less, nothing more. And you, provided you stand there, are a guest.
That I am, and it looks like the golem talks. Okay, so I need to talk to the golem and try to convince it that I'm a guest.
So you're aware you're an automaton?
Do we really know who we are, where we came from, and where we are headed? Is human life predictable in that the cycle of birth and death ensnares it? Better than mine. When a human is born, he is obedient to his parents. Later, he listens to tutors, masters, corporals. Finally, he succumbs to the will of death.
And to think that Adalbert questioned Dearhanna's mastery.
Yeah, Dearhanna sure built himself a mighty philosophic golem. That was that was pretty cool. Okay, so golem.
Who, if anyone, is allowed to pass?
Dearhanna, but he is dead. Also guests may pass, but I stop intruders.
Tell me more. Who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Is it not obvious? A guest keeps his distance, or knows the name word. An intruder is anyone who enters too far, attacks me, or otherwise interferes with my being.
Has anyone tried to enter before?
I recall no intruders. I do, however, remember guests who left after being warned.
When was that? What did you discuss?
I am a machine. My memory is limited.
You're far more self-aware than a typical golem. Can you make sovereign decisions?
The Master made me the way I am, because long discussions were to his liking. I can make decisions, within my program, of course.
So you decide who's a guest and who's an intruder?
Who else would? Guests chat innocuously, exerting no pressure. All others are intruders.
Okay, I guess we need to keep talking.
I have other questions. Do you remember your creator?
Of course. I was summoned into being by Master Dearhanna. I abide by his will, by his power, by the necessity encased in my stone bowels.
Dearhanna is dead.
His word, which animates me, lives on, as does his legacy, which I protect. Empires will rise and fall, rivers will shift their courses, but I will remain obedient to one master on my eternal watch.
I don't think an axis sign would work on a golem, and Yeah, the golem said that anyone trying to mess with its being would be considered an intruder, and I do want to avoid fighting if possible.
Dearhanna must have been an exceptional man. Can you tell me about him?
I guard everything that belonged to the Master, including his privacy, which he valued highly. I can tell you nothing.
I also find it funny that I find Dearhanna to be very feminine name. Until this discussion, I actually thought that she was a woman, but apparently he's not.
Can I ask you for the name word which brought you to life and which can deactivate you?
Do that, and I shall consider you an intruder.
Geralt is a smart man. He asked, "Can I ask you for the name word?" and didn't ask it directly. Okay, so that's a big no-no.
I have other questions. Did your creator give you a name?
I am called obedience and unyielding persistence. I am a guardian and the humblest of servants.
A golem's name is the word that gave it life, and that can take it away. You must have a name.
I own nothing. Everything belongs to my master. How could I divulge the name if I exist solely to protect my creator's property?
Powerful magic created you. Dearhanna was a true master.
He is still, since his mastery survives.
As a conscious being, you must be lonely here.
You are wrong. The pain of the world, melancholy, lies within the domain of emotions and feelings. My thoughts are governed by pure logic, restricted by my program.
But you can learn. They say that a penchant for philosophy can only come from curiosity.
In my case, it comes from the will of the Master, who liked to speak with me.
And do you feel a need to discuss?
I feel nothing. I just have that need.
Logic and need for discussion.
Can we discuss the program that controls your behavior?
Of course not.
Okay. So
I have other questions.
now. Okay. Well, this is going somewhere. I think I know enough, at least I hope so.
All right. I think I know how to get past this thing without a fight.
Burglar witchers, philosopher golems, an expedition replete with fascinating discoveries.
And terrible disappointments. Shut up, Adelbear. And you, Witcher, deal with that golem.
Okay. It would go against the golem's logic and program if we try to free it, so this must be the right way.
We know you exist by the will of your master, thanks to the name word he gave you.
That is true.
And asking for the golem's name was a big no-no, so we want to discuss and talk instead. Right?
You were created to discern intruders from guests. You are to stop the former and greet the latter.
Intruders must be stopped.
I invoke the sacred law of hospitality. What? Sacred law. The golem didn't mention any sacred laws. Lies and delusions. I'm not exactly sure where this will lead, but this is continuing the discussion instead of trying to invoke anything. So let's talk about this.
Are you aware that intruders may seek to deceive you?
I have stone fists to defend myself against those armed with swords. I have my iron logic to defend against those armed with words.
But intruders could include sorcerers who alter reality. They could be illusionists or mere liars. What then is certain?
My existence is certain, as is my master's will.
Axis sign won't work. I won't choose to fight. I think I know what Geralt is trying to do here. Yes, indeed.
Since only you and the Master's legacy exist for certain, everything else is doubtful. A malicious intruder could cloud your senses.
I am the Guardian. The Master prepared me for that.
He couldn't foresee everything, so he gave you a mind to compensate. You're much more conscious and intelligent than a Guardian needs to be. Your Master says, greet guests and stop intruders. That is certain, but everything else can be a lie. And you cannot allow yourself to attack guests. That would be against your Master's will.
Guests must be greeted, and intruders must be stopped. This is Dearhanna's will. Are you a guest or an intruder?
Doesn't matter what I answer. Your senses deceive you. You can trust only your mind. You can't assume I'm a guest, because I may be an intruder. You can't assume I'm an intruder, because I may be a guest.
This is a contradiction, a paradox. The law of excluded middle.
We've done it. We've penetrated Dearhanna's laboratory.
Let's have a look.
Dearhanna's notes about the
This
city's
is better
history.
than I'd hoped.
A great success for Nilfgaard, this mission.
Maybe you'll get that
Dearhanna
promotion.
describes finding an important document about the Vrans. Dearhanna's notes from a trip he took to Zeracania.
Can you feel that?
My medallion's vibrating.
Another masking illusion. I'll try to disperse it.
Dearhanna mentions some bacteria
later
strains.
Elorn, Lisa Elorn, later dear!
The device, what is it?
You've done your job. You'll be paid and...
Paid like the scholars were? They died once they were no longer useful.
They were never useful, but Cynthia insisted. Fortunately, they were so kind as to remove themselves without my help.
I'm not about to be that kind.
Adalbert, you know what you're to look for.
Yes, Ma'am.
It's a prototype megascope. I didn't know it had survived.
What's it do?
The artifact detects an emotional bond with a person. Its user need only focus on that person and the device will establish a connection.
Great tool for a spy.
Yes.
Time you fulfilled your end of the bargain. What do you know about my past?
You were a rider of the Wild Hunt. I read the reports.
Don't the Nilfgaardians have anything better to do than write reports about witchers?
Not about witches. About you. You are the sole person to have been a member of the host, and survived.
Rider of the Wild Hunt? Is that true? Why? Yeah, anything else?
Anything else? Any detail you can give me would be useful.
Don't trust Letho.
You think I trust the people I hunt?
He's your foe today, but he wasn't always.
Is there anything to prove I was part of the Wild Hunt?
Nothing. Apart from the fact that Nilfgaardian intelligence agents are drawn and quartered for lying in their reports.
An enlightened nation indeed.
You haven't the faintest notion how many people are interested in you. Very important people.
Just because I survived?
You're a former rider of the hunt, and you live. You may be the key to solving the mystery of the retinue, and they all know that. You must watch out for yourself.
I don't understand how it is possible that well, Geralt doesn't know it. But how is it possible that no one in Geralt's inner circle, if you will, knows nothing about this? And none of the people who Geralt has met. How the Nilfgaardians can know more about Geralt than anyone else? Rider of the Wild Hunt. That's interesting. How and why Geralt is walking alive and breathing? That's a mystery to solve.
How do you know I knew Letho?
I've read...
The reports, I know. Why are you warning me about him?
because I like you.
Let's say you've satisfied my curiosity.
Well then, consider me glad to have satisfied a witcher, whatever the way.
Cynthia has been at least appearing honest, so there's no reason for me to attack her, but I would like to try the thing, if I can.
I'd like to try out the device.
You realize that can only end badly.
Cut in again and I'll put you in my report. You may use it, but just once.
Giving state secrets away to a Nordling. Will you mention that in your report?
You're sure to be named a commander one day, Adalbert. But until that happens, be a good boy and do your job.
Article 22 of the Code is clear. Suspicion of treason is sufficient grounds to strip a commander of power. Article 1 of my personal code is equally clear. Traitors must be subjected to the most painful death possible.
Oh well. What? Mirror image? Cynthia is fighting him as well. Oh, careful, Cynthia, again. I need to take down all the... Oh, Cynthia, you burn me down.
I didn't expect that.
Multiplication. Second year at the academy, all mages learn it.
I didn't expect you to take my side.
Well, now choose one person you wish to contact. After that, the artifact's mine.
Nilfgaardian agents get quartered for lying in reports. What does the Empire do to agents who kill their colleagues?
Nothing. As long as no one finds out.
Oh, right. So it's okay to leave things out from the reports, but it's not okay to lie. Well, I don't know.
Will we meet again?
I wouldn't mind at all. Look for me at the inn.
Well, if it's gonna be called the inn, sure. The same questions.
Let's say you've satisfied my curiosity.
Well then, consider me glad to have satisfied a witcher, whatever the way.
Yeah, let's so I can use it once.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't eavesdrop while I eavesdropped.
I shan't trouble you. I've a lot of work to do here.
Oh. Now that's interesting. So I can only use it once. And the machine will tap into the emotions or such of this person. I'm not going to think of Dandelion. Well, I'm first thinking I'd think of Triss. Then on the other hand, Saskia and Radovid would probably be more useful as far as this these politics go. Because Geralt at least partly knows what kind of situation Triss is in. What about Vernon Roach? Yeah, this is a fascinating choice here. This probably doesn't mean that much. It's just an extra information, and also particularly good for this kind of playstyle I've been doing. That I won't reload the game no matter what, unless I die. So in situations like this, many players, even I probably, when not doing or before I was doing Let's Plays, I would reload and look through all these options, kind of what they are. But I will only choose one, and I think Geralt, even that he probably needs to fight long and hard not to think of Triss. I will try to actually get some use out of this and think of Saskia. Maybe, why would I think of Radovid? That would probably tell me the most about the political situation and things, but on the other hand, I do want to find out if Philippa is still controlling Saskia, because that will affect my decisions later, I think. So let's think of Saskia.
I made sure we'd have a trustworthy cook while in Muinne. I'll not allow anyone to slip poison into your goblet here.
I cannot sit here and eat in peace while Philippa rots in a dungeon.
Regardless of Philippa's whereabouts and predicament, you must behave as befits a queen.
Does that rule out caring for my friends?
Philippa will manage. And even should she fail, I'm sure her final wish would be that we follow through with the plan. So eat. You must be at full strength during the summit. A very important task awaits you.
I hope you learned something useful.
I'm just sorry I can't use the artifact a few more times.
Its power has been depleted.
I understand. Thanks anyway.
Well, she's gone. I found these journals here.
Dearhanna's notes from a mutation procedure manual.
Dearhanna's notes 4. Golden trophy. Oh, there are more golems here. Will they fight me? Maybe they would have joined the fight if I... Axe, orange. Moon rune, Yuskit rune. Yes, so well, it's nothing I didn't know before, but shielded Tanzaville is very much in the game with Saskia and Philippa. Oh, it's a dead end. Nothing in the sack. Hardened leather, blue meteorite ore. Okay. And will I actually see Cynthia again? Or and was she telling the truth about Geralt being a rider of the Wild Hunt? That's mindful right now. Geralt found multiple excerpts from Dearhanna's journal in the cellars of Loch Muinne. In one, the sorcerer mentioned a grimoire he had penned. Given its author's genius, this scholarly tome would likely be very valuable. Keeping an eye out for it was a smart idea without question. Well, Cynthia thought so too. The sorceress also proved craftier than our hero and outmaneuvered him. Dearhanna's masterpiece landed in Nilfgaardian hands. Okay, so Cynthia picked that up immediately. At least I get the message from that. Dearhanna's journal. While in Loch Muinne's cellars and sewers, Geralt chanced upon an interesting item. Upon examination, it proved to be a fragment of Dearhanna's journal in which the sorceress described his research into the city's history. Since all things related to Dearhanna's related to Dearhanna seemed intriguing, the Witcher began looking for other pieces of the journal. The journal excerpts Geralt found indicated that Dearhanna was not interested in Loch Muinne's past per se, but in the Vran race that had built the city and in the mystery of their extinction. The Witcher quickly realized that the Nilfgaardians were interested in the same, and not because they had a passion for history. Whatever had killed the Vrans could very well be useful to the Emperor as a weapon. Believing Emhyr capable of genocide, the Witcher grew wary. Oh my. That doesn't sound good at all. Was coming down here a mistake? Dearhanna's Memoirs 1. I've started reviewing the manuscripts. The city annals have survived only in parts. The most interesting volume seems to be missing. Curiously, up to this point I have not found a single mention of the Vrans. I've happened on an intriguing document. Its content is encrypted and the dialect itself is strange. Deciphering it is consuming a lot of time. I recognize the word reptiles. which is a promising thread. The document bears the seal of one Koeveth. I have never heard of this individual. Koeveth. Can't say I have either, but I need to check the character journal. I finally reached the place described by Koeveth. My worst suspicions have been confirmed, as I have found cells filled with the bones of lizard men. There are more documents too. If the figures can be trusted, the mutated virus was terrifyingly effective. The reptilian tissue must have decomposed instantly. So the Vrans were lizard men. And they were genocided using a virus. Holy. This is like... This is getting more and more serious, this plot. I've started to record the mutation procedures once more, this time in a magically protected dome. I now also realize how serious and far-reaching my discovery might prove. If this disease attacked both the Vrans and those Einseidhe who were not vaccinated, what will happen if someone mad or vile enough can be found among humans? Yeah, they can... Oh wow, this... and yeah, we are already seen that there are plenty of mad people among humans. I regret having learned of this dark episode in the city's history. I have become wary of danger, as the elves must surely be aware that someone has discovered their secret. I've made my last stroll into the ruins of Black Academy. I will seal my laboratory and disappear. The time has finally come to see Sericania once more. So Geralt helped the Nilfgaardians to get their hands on a potential virus that they can use to exterminate any race they want. At least with some research. Oh, wow. Oh, Geralt, what did you do? Well, the good news was that it was deciphered, so at least I probably have some time trying to get it back. The Secrets of Loch Muinne. Oh, this is a long text. Well, I will read it anyway, because I want to. Not far from the large tower located in the center of Loch Muinne, Geralt ran into a peculiar pair of gentlemen, whom I may already have mentioned. If I did not, know that they were alchemists, shady characters calling themselves scholars, though they certainly were not known in academic circles. They informed the Witcher that the great Dearhanna's laboratory was nestled somewhere beneath the ruined city. Although this mage had died many centuries earlier, he remained quite famous. If Dearhanna's laboratory contained scholarly treasures documenting but a fraction of his knowledge, or even more tantalizingly one of the sorcerer's creations, an expedition in search of it would certainly be worth the effort. Geralt was intrigued, took the alchemists up on their offer, and entered the tower to meet the expedition's other members. As it turned out, the other members were all Nilfgaardians, namely the mages Cynthia and Adalbert. Though he found it hard to control himself, as the Black Ones had rattled his chain recently, Geralt engaged in a civil conversation. Before he knew it, he had joined the expedition. It's possible he hoped to get something interesting out of Cynthia along the way, though, truth be told, he was also curious to see what Dearhanna had left behind. The expedition promptly entered the sewers in a bid to find the sorcerer's laboratory. The sewers, however, were crawling with monsters. Geralt, Cynthia, and Adalbert had to fight off a horde of necrophages. Once the sewers were safe, the explorers could move on towards the laboratory. An illusion masked the door to Dearhanna's workshop. But the team boasted 2 mages. Cynthia demonstrated some of what she could do by dispelling the mirage. The group then encountered another obstacle. A guardian eye, one of Dearhanna's creations, was poised above the door. Clueless, Geralt approached it and... the eye asked him a riddle. It turned out that Dearhanna could at times be both childish and witty. This eye would only let pass those who solved its riddle. One of the alchemists, Caspar, rushed in with an answer. Little did he know that the punishment for being wrong was death. Luckily, Geralt was up to the task and managed to solve the eye's riddle. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. The entrance to Dearhanna's laboratory stood open. Yet the Witcher and company had to set aside, marveling at the chamber. A group of Redanian rivals had beat our hero's expedition to the room. There is little sentiment between treasure hunters. If 2 competing groups find themselves simultaneously in a single subterranean chamber, well, only one can survive. Ever wondered where the skeletons often found in abandoned cellars come from? Me neither. In any case, the skeletons in this cellar would be those of some Redanians who tried to mess with the Witcher. Leaving behind a small stack of corpses, the team moved on, only to encounter yet another guardian. Cynthia worked her magic once more, and as expected, the guardian she revealed asked another riddle. A group of travelers wandering through the dark, 3 guides above them, so 3 were marked. At night they trailed a drake serpentine and a silver lady, shining and fine. If only her visage she would deign to unfold. By day they followed a mountain vault, its riches untold. Thus ran the riddle. Geralt consulted his companions, concluding that the 3 guides of the riddle would need to be found in the allegorical frescoes on the walls of the chamber. Stone plates lay at the foot of each fresco. It was clear the group could solve the riddle by occupying the plates of the frescoes, which they thought presented the guides. The riddle proved quite challenging, but the explorers put their heads together and solved it. After several attempts and fighting some gargoyles in between. Another door stood open before them. Unfortunately, only those standing near a fresco were safe. Still shaken by his companion's death, Farid the alchemist chose not to take part and fell victim to more of Dearhanna's malice. The remaining members of the party paid their respects in silence and moved on. Yet our fearless treasure hunters encountered an obstacle of a different sort inside. A golem, crafted by Dearhanna, guarded access to the sorcerer's legacy. Geralt was amazed by Dearhanna's mastery. The golem he had created proved a sharp conversationalist and a keen logician, hardly fortunate for our heroes. Still, as clever as the golem seemed, Geralt decided he would try to dupe it. I must commend Geralt. He treated the talk with the golem like a duel, and proved as effective at rhetoric as he was at swordplay. Our hero probed his opponent, discovered a weakness in his defenses, and exploited it mercilessly. As it turned out, the artificial being, armed to the teeth with logical axioms, lacked common sense. The Witcher laid down some bait and then led its reasoning astray. The golem knew not what to do and was neutralized. The way to Dearhanna's laboratory was now clear. As one would expect, the sorcerer's laboratory was saturated with magic. Ever careful, Cynthia sensed the aura and, as she had done before, cast a spell to reveal the surprises Dearhanna had in store for intruders. Geralt and Adalbert stayed sharp and waited patiently. Another illusion melted away to reveal a marvelous machine, clearly more of Dearhanna's handiwork. The expedition had reached its goal, and it was time for the Witcher and Nilfgaardians to settle up. Yet the artifact stood there, begging them to look closer, beckoning them to touch it. As Cynthia told it, Dearhanna's artifact would tap into the emotional bond between its user and another individual to establish a magic connection, even over a great distance. Intrigued, Geralt was eager to use it, if only to resolve one of the mysteries still plagued him. Cynthia did not protest. Adalbert, on the other hand, categorically forbade the Witcher from approaching the contraption. This was the last straw. The tension that had been building between the mage and the Witcher exploded in a single act of anger. Adalbert hurled an especially nasty curse at Geralt and fight ensued. Curse? I only saw the mirror image. I don't know. Yet Geralt was not alone. Cynthia had had enough of Adalbert's behavior, and she and the mage had been unable to agree on how to divide the loot. The fight could very well rid her of a whole set of problems, so she simply took the Witcher's side. All Adalbert's objections died with him. Cynthia let the Witcher use the artifact just once, which pleased Geralt anyway. The information he gleaned through this bit of magic proved most valuable. Well, I don't know about that yet, but I certainly hope so. At least I know that Sheila is in it with Philippa, which I kinda knew already, but anyway. His work done, it was time for Geralt to go. The Witcher and the sorceress parted on peaceful, one could almost say friendly terms. Cynthia disappeared through a portal, Dearhanna's artifact in tow, while our hero went back to his own matters, urgent in and of themselves. And speaking of urgent matters, I think I will explore the sewers a bit more, and hoping to find the treasures of the Vran, namely the Vran armor, mentioned in the Mystic River quest, and then go back to the surface to see if Cynthia is at the inn or near it, and talk to her about the grimoire and try to stop the Nilfgaardians with to do a genocide on whatever they consider to be unworthy of living. Most unpleasant thought, to be sure, but yeah. Might as well level up since I have that. I updated the Gwen sign already. Second Vigor. I haven't been using the Axis sign much, so I probably won't do that now either. So maybe I will work towards... I think the level cap is 45, so 32, 33, 34, 45. I can still make it to the end. So let's do that. Oh, mutated ability, nice. Do I have any mutagens? Oh, just vitality. Well, let's see if I can find some more here in the sewers. When I go find and look for the Vran armor.